What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. So I'm here in Seychelles and I had a bout of a little sickness. Brother thought, hey, he was having some chest pains. Thought I was like, hold up, what's going on? You know, one of the, I guess, scary moments when you're in foreign land is if your health begins to falter or something's wrong with you, you want to know whether or not the country can take care of you. So I started having these chest pains. My head started getting a little headache. I got a little headache and started to feel a little warm. And if anybody knows me, I run to the hospital because, you know, I've considered myself to kept myself in pretty good shape over the years. And especially being in the military, we continuously had to be seen by the medical doctors. I continued that after 2004 when I retired and made sure that my health is my wealth and that I should at least be on par with my health. Because not only is it that I want to live and thrive and be there for my children and my wife and, you know, friends, but the contributions that I believe that myself and others out here like yourself who give, who are trying to bring people into a place of peace or in the presence of the Most High, I look at it as though that it's an honor to live. And I don't want to live in bad health. Suffering, I don't like that. So I was going through these issues. And I said, let me go to the doctor here. Let me take a look at this. Let me make sure. So I went to the doctor. And this is right here is the local transportation here. This is the local transportation here in Seychelles that you see. People getting on buses. Young brothers, excuse me, brother. You know, we can see the people on the buses. And yeah, just want to give you a taste. You got the tourists out here. Typically when you see the Europeans, they're probably more or less tourist investors, and maybe some live here too. But I'm saying all that I'm saying is because my health, I went to the doctor because I wanted to make sure that I was okay. So I get to the doctor. I told him I'm having some chest pains and, you know, some headaches and stuff like that. And, you know, they checked me in and they called me back and, you know, went into the emergency room. They told me to go to the emergency room when I called in. And so I did such. Hello, sister. How are you doing today? So I called it. When I called in, they told me to come on in, go to the emergency room. Went in there. They checked me in. Went in the back, and like any emergency rooms, you're gonna wait. But immediately when they called me, when I first checked in, took my blood pressure, took my blood to check for my sugar level, and once they got me in the back, they brought in the EKG machine to check my heart to see was there anything abnormal. They told me that everything looked up. Everything checked out fine. I mean, you know, all you got to do now is just wait for the doctor. The doctor's going to come see you. So I'm like, okay, all right, because I've been on this road before. You know, doctor comes, he looks at the EKG, and he tells you, you know, everything looks fine. then he's going to hit you with some questions. Now, fortunate for me, my wife is a physician, medical doctor, so she's very close into my health. And when I go see my personal doctor, that, she's my voice. She's the one that looks at my blood work. She's the one who even does my prostate check. A little bit personal, but hey, if anybody gonna do it, I'd rather for my wife to do it. But anyway, so I knew that I can consult my wife because the test had already been done. Everything was good. So I was sitting there waiting, and they said he's very busy. They said that I was sitting there waiting, and they said there was only one doctor on shift. I said, wow, geez, for an emergency room? And so I had people ahead of me, so I had to wait. So I was there for about 2 hours, and I said, you already told me that the test was good, blood work was good, so I'm just going to go ahead and go. And they wanted me to stay to see the doctor. But there again, I know my body, and typically, I have sometimes these episodes when it comes to acid reflux. Being here in Seychelles, they love some spicy food, the curries, and I had curry, and I think it probably was that, because some things were building up, because typically I don't eat some of those foods that are aggravate. Onions, garlics, and curries. I was eating some food that really would give my stomach issues in the buildup of acids. So I told him, I said, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and go. Thank you. What do I owe you all? Where do I check out at? Where do I pay? And they said, no, you don't owe anything. And I said, what? And they're like, well, you didn't even see the doctor, but you don't owe anything. Now they did an EKG test on me, checked me in, did blood work, did my blood pressure. I took up an emergency bed, and they said I didn't owe anything. Now I had a conversation with a brother here. He's a historian. If he's watching, what's up, Tony? And he shared about this country being a socialist system. And one advantage in being in a socialist system is that the people have to be taken care of, because it's a common, it's almost like a common wealth or a common return on what the country as a whole wants to do for a people. Now I know that some people are against socialist countries, and I know there should be balance, these democracies and socialism and capitalisms, and whether you want to be communist or what have you. I like the fact, when I speak to brothers and sisters who really are in socialist countries, the one thing they said that really attracts them is that free medical. If they're unemployed, that the country must at least take care of their needs. If you happen to not have a place to stay, the country must put you up in a place. These actions you will not find in America. America is every man for himself. You can work all your life, turn around, lose your job, and happen to be in a bind financially. America does not have any of those programs. Not to say that if you become homeless, you might be able to find maybe some programs, depending on the state you're in, to probably try to help and assist you. But you must become homeless in order for that to happen. I was taken care of. I didn't have to pay a penny. In an emergency room, EKG, all blood pressure, blood work, and I was a foreigner. So your man's good, everything's all right. I took some antacid, feel better, and just to let you know that these are things we should be aware of. When you're traveling, sometimes you might get sick. And if you're in a socialist country, you might not have to pay a penny. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.
Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it.